watching Shift Path, and today we're diving into Audi's latest update for its top-selling luxury compact SUV, the 2025 Audi Q5 and its sportier sibling, the SQ5. Now, while the world is racing toward EVs, Audi is taking a measured approach. With these refreshed models, no huge reinvention here, but instead a well-calibrated evolution of what buyers already love about this lineup. And if you're living in the US, where tech-savvy consumers demand both performance and premium, feel this update hits right where it should. Let's start outside, because that's where the most immediate changes grab you. The 2025 Q5 lineup ditches its previously smooth and conservative skin for a bolder, more sculpted look. The body lines are sharper, more defined, and frankly more confident. The headlights now have a squintier, more aggressive shape, and the front fascia on both the Q5 and SQ5 gives off a more assertive presence. Especially in darker colors, lighting has always been Audi's playground. And this year they take it up a notch. The LED headlights plus standard on the SQ5 and higher. Q5 trims bring startup and shutdown animations that feel more sci-fi than SUV, and if you're going with the Prestige trim, you get old taillights with 8 customizable lighting signatures that you can switch up depending on your mood or setting a standout. Detail is the third brake light on the SQ5. It doesn't just glow, it projects onto the rear hatch glass, and that projection includes the Quattro logo with flanking tick marks. It's subtle, it's premium, and it's very Audi paint options this year stick with classic Audi elegance: deep blues, icy silvers, crisp whites, and of course that signature Daytona gray for the SQ5, which gives the performance variant a properly menacing look. Moving inside, you're stepping into a space that now feels more tailored, more intentional, and just more tech-savvy. You're greeted by what Audi calls the digital stage. It's a combination of an 11.9-inch digital cluster and a new 14.5-inch center touchscreen that curves ever so slightly toward the driver. This isn't just about aesthetics. That curve is functional, bringing the far edge of the screen within easier reach, so your hand doesn't need to leave the wheel for too long. The materials are what you'd expect from Audi, and that's a good thing. Leather feels rich, metal accents are real, and soft touch points are everywhere you'd want them to be. Seating is supportive and bolstered just enough without going overboard. The rear seat now slides 4.5 by 4 inches and also tilts, so whether you're loading up people or gear, you've got the flexibility. Ambient lighting makes a strong impression here too, with customizable colors that elevate the mood at night while never feeling over the top. Infotainment is crisp, fast, and built on the latest Audi my platform. Everything is responsive and well integrated with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and even a new passenger display option that lets your co-pilot access entertainment and climate without distracting the driver thanks to a visibility-reducing filter. Let's talk tech, because the Q5 and SQ5 are clearly geared toward a connected driving experience. The steering wheel has a clean, uncluttered layout with haptic feedback buttons that feel premium without being over-engineered behind it. The gauge display is ultra-configurable and offers rich, high-resolution graphics with everything from nav overlays to driver assist data. The Bang & Olufsen sound system, available on higher trims, remains a highlight, with immersive audio clarity and rich bass that never muddies up the mid-range. Voice control has improved too. It's snappier and understands more natural language commands, which is a must in this market. Now, onto performance, and this is where the Q5 and SQ5 show two very different characters under the same skin. The Q5 uses a revised turbocharged 2.0-liter 4-cylinder that now puts out 268 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, paired to a new 7-speed dual-clutch transmission and Quattro all-wheel drive. The setup is smooth and balanced with enough low-end torque to make daily driving feel brisk, but never frantic. 0 to 60 comes in around 5.8 seconds, not blazing, but quick enough to hold its own in a crowded segment. Step up to the SQ5, and it's a whole different ballgame. Under the hood is a turbocharged 3.0-liter V6, now delivering 362 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque, also through a dual-clutch box. Audi estimates 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, and that feels conservative. The exhaust note on startup alone gives the SQ5 just enough drama To remind you you're in something a little spicy, ride quality is another area where Audi nails. The balance and adaptive air suspension comes standard on the SQ5 and is available on the Q5, and it can soften or firm up depending on drive mode. A new balanced drive mode slots in between comfort and dynamic, and it really does live up to the name, smoothing out rough roads while still staying sharp enough to respond quickly on twisty back roads. Handling is composed, and the steering rack now offers a more direct connection to the chassis, making inputs feel quicker, though it still leans toward comfort rather than pure driver engagement. Noise levels are impressively low in both models, even at highway speeds. Insulation and build quality keep the cabin serene. Now, for those wondering about electrification, this isn't a full EV or even a plug-in hybrid, although Audi still offers the PHEV Q5 elsewhere. The 2025 models discussed here run on traditional gas powertrains with improved efficiency. You can expect mid-20s in combined MPG, and both engines meet the latest emissions standards for the US. The Q5 and SQ5 are clearly not about pushing EV boundaries, but rather refining what internal combustion can still offer in a transitional market. When it comes to safety, these models hold their own with high marks from NHTSA and IIHS. Audi's standard suite includes adaptive cruise control lane, keep assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and automated emergency braking. The Prestige trims add features like traffic jam assist and a 360-degree camera system with crisp imaging and predictive path overlays, making parking and tight maneuvers much easier. So here's the verdict: the 2025 Audi Q5 and SQ5 don't reinvent the wheel, but they absolutely fine-tune it. And sometimes that's exactly what buyers want, especially those who love the Audi formula and just want a smarter, better version of what they already trust. On the plus side, you're getting a more sculpted exterior with premium lighting tech, a tech-loaded and elegant cabin, improved performance, particularly in the SQ5, and a ride quality that feels just right for long hauls or quick bursts. Downsides, well, if you're hoping for a jump to hybrid or EV tech, this update won't scratch that itch. And the steering still leans more luxury than sport, which might not satisfy more performance-oriented drivers. But if you're someone who values design, technology, comfort, and a solid blend of performance without committing to full electrification, this latest Q5 or SQ5 should be at the top of your list for shift path. I'm your guide through the details and dynamics of the best in modern motoring, and this has been your deep dive into Audi's perfectly tuned 2025 Q5 and SQ5. See you on the next drive.